Are you learning a language but feel stuck, frustrated, and not improving as fast as you hoped? You've been studying for months, maybe even years, but when it's time to actually speak, your brain just freezes. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. And the truth is, you're probably making some of the most common mistakes language learners make. And the worst part, these mistakes can waste years of your time without real progress. In this video, whether you are a complete beginner or advanced, I'll share the 10 biggest mistakes people make when learning a language, how to avoid them, and what to do instead. Stick around because the seventh mistake, well, I'd bet 99% of learners make it. You don't want to miss this one. It's really important. Mistake number 1, trying to speak perfectly from day one. This is the first trap almost everyone falls into. You want to sound perfect right away. No mistakes, perfect grammar, 0 errors. Why? Because we've been all taught that mistakes are bad. In schools, mistakes mean bad grades, so your brain thinks the same rule applies here. But here's the truth. Perfection is the enemy of progress. If you try to speak perfectly, you'll freeze every time you open your mouth. You'll spend 30 seconds thinking of one sentence, and conversations will feel like torture. So how to fix it? Change your mindset. Mistakes are proof you're learning, and that means progress in the future. Focus on communication, not perfection. Your goal is to be understood and convey the idea you're not trying to express. Nobody cares about your mistakes because here's the truth, everyone makes them. Keep speaking without overthinking. Fluency is about flow, accuracy comes later. That means try to talk more rather than stopping and thinking about how you said it. It's better to add a few extra sentences at this point. Trust me. Here's a mini challenge for you. After this video, write down 1 or 2 sentences in your target language in the comment section below and say them out loud, even if they're not perfect. The goal is progress, not perfection. Don't care about judgment. Good people and people that you want to be around will never say anything bad about you or your work. The rest is just noise. So let's go. Pause the video and write something down. I'll check later. Mistake number 2, memorizing word lists without context. Many learners think memorizing 1,000 words, 1,000 random words, will make them fluent. So they repeat lists over and over. Apple, table, house sounds productive. No, it doesn't sound productive. Why this happens? Lists feel like progress because they're easy and structured, but your brain doesn't remember words in isolation. And that's just not how long-term memory works. The problem is that without context, words are forgotten quickly and are rarely usable in real conversation. If you only memorize words without context, you'll forget them in a few days. And even if you remember, you won't know how to use them in real sentences. Here's how to fix it. Learn words in context. If you learn the word apple, don't just remember an apple. Imagine your favorite apple pie or a funny story about an apple, of how you as a child went to the kindergarten and you were picking apples in the garden. Another tip, learn words in small groups. For example, focus on words related to food or travel together. That way your brain builds stronger connections and remembering them becomes much easier. Mistake number 3, ignoring listening practice. Most learners focus on reading, writing, and memorizing words, but they skip listening. Then, when they finally meet a native speaker or they watch a random video on the internet, they understand nothing. Everything sounds like one long, fast blur. The reason why it happens because listening feels passive. Reading and grammar exercises feel productive because you can see your progress, but listening, it feels like you're not doing anything. So people avoid it. And if you don't train your ears, your brain can't recognize the sounds of the language, even if you know the words on paper. And here's the key: comprehension is the master key skill. If you can't understand what people are saying, you can't respond. And if you don't hear the language enough, you won't know how words actually sound in real conversations. And that's why so many learners sound robotic. They've only seen words written, never really heard them in context. Here are 3 things I recommend doing. Listen every single day, even just 10 minutes. The more, the better. Watch clear, slower content, YouTube videos, language podcasts, or audiobooks for your level. Use subtitles at first, then slowly remove them as you improve. Mistake number 4, not speaking out loud. So many learners say, I'll start speaking when I'm ready. Bad news. With that mindset, that day might never come. Speaking is just another skill, and when we start learning something new, we usually suck at it. That's normal. You have to embrace that and just start speaking, even if it's scary, even if it sounds terrible, and it doesn't matter. Here's something I believe: listening improves speaking. Yeah, but only if you actually speak. If you study silently, your mouth never learns the movements and your brain never builds the habit of speaking. So what should you do? Speak from day one, even if it's just to yourself. Describe what you or someone did today. For example, today I went for a walk and my brother stayed home. Use shadowing techniques. Listen to a native speaker and immediately repeat what they say, copying their rhythm and tone. Record yourself and compare it to the original. That's how you notice mistakes and improvements that you're making along the way. Mistake number 5, relying on just one method or one app. Duolingo is great, but it won't make you fluent on its own. No single tool can do everything. Apps are perfect for learning vocabulary, basic grammar, and building a habit, but they can't teach you real conversations, natural pronunciations, or how people actually speak in real life. Here's the problem: if you only stick to one method, your progress will be limited. You might know hundreds of words, but when you hear a real conversation, your brain freezes. Why does it happen? Because you've only learned words in isolation. In real life, words come in groups, in full sentences. If you never train your brain to process that, you'll always struggle to speak naturally. What's the solution? Mix it up. If you're using an app, add something new this week. Watch YouTube videos or Netflix in your target language. Listen to a podcast during your commute. Find a language exchange partner online. The more variety you add, the faster your brain adapts. Reading, listening, and speaking all work together, and that's how real fluency happens. Mistake number 6, learning grammar like a math book. A lot of learners get stuck here. They think, if I just master all the grammar rules first, then I'll speak perfectly. So they dive into conditions, verb tables, and endless explanations before saying a single word. Present perfect, present simple, past simple. Grammar without context is useless. It's like trying to learn to swim by reading about swimming. You'll drown the moment you hit the water. Here's the better way. Learn grammar in context. Notice it in real sentences. Instead of studying every tense at once, pick one thing. Say past tense. And make 5 sentences using words you already know, using past tense, past simple. Speak them out loud. The rule isn't the goal, it's the habit. Try this right now. Take one grammar point you've learned recently and use it in 3 real sentences about your day. Oh, mistake number 7. Expecting to understand everything. That's a little unpredictable, right? Here's something that trips up a lot of learners. You start watching a movie or reading a book in your target language, and you want to understand every single word. Sounds logical, but it's actually a trap. When you chase 100% comprehension, you make the experience painful. You pause every 5 seconds, Google every word, and in the end, you're not learning, you're just frustrated. The truth is, you don't need to understand everything. Your goal is progress, not perfection. If you get the main idea, you're already winning. Fluency comes from exposure, not from obsessing over every detail. Instead of thinking, I need to know every word, focus on the big picture. Let some words go. Context will teach you over time. And yes, that means you might not fully understand the movie, and that's okay. The point is language learning, not movie reviews. Try this. Pick a short video in your target language, turn on subtitles in that language, not your native one, and watch without pausing. Forget the small words, just enjoy the flow and watch and continue and just enjoy. Mistake number 8, not reviewing what you learned. Learning new words feels amazing. You see your progress and it's motivating, but here's the catch. If you don't review, your brain forgets most of it in a few days, and that's just how memory works. Forgetting is normal, but letting it happen without review is what stalls progress. Think of it, you could spend hours memorizing new words, but if you never revise them, they disappear. And then when you try to speak, it feels like you are starting over again. The fix? Make review part of your routine. Go back to yesterday's words before learning new ones. Space it out. Use flashcards, spaced repetition apps, or simply write sentences with your old word vocabulary. The key is repetition with context. Don't just glance at a list. Add a weekly review and a monthly review for the words that you've learned so far. Here's another mini challenge. Take 10 words you learned this week, write one sentence with each, and say them out loud. You'll notice they stick better immediately. Mistake number 9. You need to live abroad to become fluent. Many learners think fluency only comes if you move to the country where the language is spoken. That's simply not true. I never lived in an English speaking country and I'm fluent today. Immersion isn't about location, it's about environment. You can surround yourself with the language wherever you are, watch videos, listen to music, follow social media, or chat online, even thinking in your target language for a few minutes. The key is consistent daily exposure, not waiting for perfect conditions. Small, regular habits, reading a short article, listening to a podcast, or sending a few messages. Mistake number 10, not having a system. That's a really big one. The last mistake is trying to learn randomly without a plan. It's like going to the gym without knowing which exercise to do. You'll lose motivation fast and see little progress. Fluency doesn't happen by luck, it happens by design. The key is a simple, repeatable system that fits into your day. It doesn't have to be complicated, just something consistent that covers listening, vocabulary, and speaking. If you want a concrete example, check out my previous video where I break down a 30-minute daily routine that can help you become fluent in 12 months. Following a plan like that makes your learning intentional, keeps you motivated, and actually builds habits that stick. Consistency beats intensity every time. Even small daily steps will get you further than random hours of studying once in a while. Start small, stick to it, and watch your fluency grow. It was George. See you in the next video. Ciao for now.